Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's continue our game of The Legend of Heroes Trails to Azure running on Nintendo Switch. Okay, so we're going to Stargazer Road, I think. If I remember right. Which I don't often.
なんだ、その程度かい。
奇襲成功。チャンスです。
行くぞ。ストーン。
任せて。今だ。
行くぞ。やってや。その程度じゃ、俺たちは止められない。
みんなチャンスよ。
行くぞ。やってや。
はい、はあ。戦闘終了。警戒態勢に戻ります。
よし、やっと。
行きます。そっか。さたや。
やれやれ。俺の番だな。
よーし、そっか。私の番ね。
やれやれ。なんだ、その程度かい。一気に落とすよ。チャンス。よし、上出来だ。
Stargazer's Tower. It's just more south. What is over here? I wonder if they'll ever make a scenario where we go over there. So you gotta wait for the third game before that happens. It was an unhappy slime.
なんだ、その程度かい。よし、一気に行くぞ。私のや。俺の番。
私の番。は
行くよ。行くぞ。
や。こんなところかしら。みんなチャンスよ。
よし、これが俺たちの力だ。よし、一気に行くぞ。今だわみんな。よー、そっか。
まあまあだったね。
えいはセット。よーし一気に行くぞ。えいは
今だわみんな。敵続けてくるわ。私の番そこ。
俺の番スト。よし上出来だ。セット。
一気に落とすよ。
行くぞ。さあ
そこ私の番。はあ皆さんお疲れ様でした。
セッタ
一気に落とすよ。
任せてそこ。みんな怪我はない？
行くぞみんな。
あ、
ロイド。
Oh, jeez.
上出来だ。
さすがですね。
I actually didn't think it was going to be that powerful. My goodness.
やっはえいでやえいと。
一気に落とすよ。
今だわみんな。上出来かしら。
セット。
一気に落とすよ。
私のそこ。
よしと。
はいそこ。
やれやれ。なんだ、その程度かい。
えいでやここは俺たちのターンだ。
私のはあ任せや。
やっせ
やれやれ。いい夢は見られたかい。
やっと。
奇襲成功チャンスです。
やっ俺の番やってや。よしもう大丈夫だ。やっ
さあかかってきなさい。
せ俺の番だってか。これが俺たちの力だ。えいでや
みんなチャンスよ。
チャンスだ。よしみんな大丈夫か。えいとえいは
奇襲成功チャンスです。
任せてくれ。は
行きますやあこの調子で行きましょう。
えいとよーし一気に行くぞ。さあよしもう大丈夫だ。
Yeah, a lot of these areas are the same. I'm actually surprised there's so much that's the same. Usually in the sequel, they'll try to mix up the maps pretty dramatically. And here, it's not too many changes.
せいでや
At least I don't recall there being too many changes. Maybe my memory's just a little
俺の
faulty,
番だ。
which wouldn't be the first time that's ever happened.
なんとかなりましたね。
No, we finally got a car. I finally got this fast travel, but I'm still traveling on foot. Because, again, you need money and experience. Especially money in this game. I mean, you get so little money for anything
これが俺たち
in
の
this series
力
as
だ
a whole. And everything is like incredibly expensive.
よーし一気に行くぞ。やっと
任せてそこ行きます。
行くよ。
やっやっ
Or I've been playing like Ultima 2 on my NES. It's like, why make this big game balance so weird?
よーし一気に行くぞやってやこれが俺たちの力だ
And I wish those Ultima games weren't so painful on the eyes. I mean, the pretty garish colors. Otherwise, I would really love to play an Ultima game again.
一気に落とすよ。やれやれ。時間の無駄だったな。
さあかかってこい俺の番だはいは
あ私の番みんな怪我はない
But, you know, Lord British has, you know, way since moved on to other projects. You know, other publishing opportunities. And, you know, they closed out that last game. Was it 8? I think 8 was the last one.
俺の番
I think that was Ascension.
みんな先に
Where,
進
you
も
know,
う
the Avatar finally ascended.
せっでやえいでや
Although, if I remember right, that was a very troublesome release, that game. I wonder if there's, like, fan patches for that. I wouldn't mind revisiting it at some point in time. Because it was attempting to do, like, action
行くぞ
RPG. You know, those very early days of action RPGs.
やれやれ。やれやれ。時間の無駄だったな。
えいでやせっでや
You know, when Tomb Raider was,
みんなチャンスよ
you know, had a ton of influence.
よしもう大丈夫だ
You know, I imagine there are fan patches. Fan patches are almost everything.
みんなチャンスよ
俺の番だえっと
Although we'd have to run it under DOSBox, and DOSBox video capture is
守りたい
a little troublesome for
クロ
me.
スベル
やでやえいはよし一気に行くぞえっと
I don't know. I'll check it out. I'll see if GOG has it.
みんな
See
先
how
に
it
進
runs.
もう
I'm sure it'll be terrible without, like, a ton of patching. But it's always a game that I wanted to finish. Retro PC games are like, they're the worst to revisit.
よし一気に行くぞ
You know, nowadays PC gaming is
私の
you know, very console-like in its experience.
僕の
But certainly in those days, I mean,
行くぞえっと
many things could go wrong from game to game.
かかってきなよ。
Brave Hearts, so let's try it.
ロイドさんお願いします
僕の番か。
え
やれやれ。
そこ
俺の番だえってや
私の番は戦闘終了警戒態勢に戻ります
In fact, I think I'll go look for maybe some fan work on the Ultima games. Again, you know, I mean, they're like the grandfather of CRPGs,
せっは
and really of
かかって
console RPGs.
行くぞやってや
You know, since they're the blueprint for RPGs as we know them.
守りたいこのクロスベル
But certainly the original games, you know, have not aged very well. That's why, you know, if I would play them, I'd play them on the NES, the NES versions at least.
やれやれ。怖い話。
You know, while the graphics are rough and the colors are garish, they are at least something to look at. The original Ultimas, they, you know,
やれやれ。
they don't look great.
アディオス。
They don't play great for a modern audience. The controls are real rough. I think in the case of Ultima 1 and 2, I don't even think... I mean, that was before the mouse in those days,
俺の番だやった
where it wasn't all that common to have a mouse integrated into games. So I think those two games were keyboard only. I am Sharkman IB, pulling fish up from the depths of the sea. I can fish here, but someone else is using the spot right now. I'll just come back later. Wow, look at that. Yeah.
奇襲成功チャンスです
よし
私の番です
Let me save those for a Sunday. Like, I think I want to make Sundays like retro days.
いい夢は見られたかい
You know, for some reason, I'm also known as like one of the retro guys who plays retro games, which is not a bad thing. But lately, I haven't been playing any retro games. You know, for various reasons. But I did finally fix my Mister. The last update caused it to just have a black screen, but I got that fixed. So we may look at playing more of the you know, the third generation games. Wait. Well, hold on a minute. Where was Stargazer's Tower? Oh, holy crap, I was way off, wasn't I? Okay, let's get there. Just walked all the way to Ursula, my goodness.
僕の相手じゃ
よ
ないね
ーそここれで一安心ですね
You know, although the Mister also does PC emulation. But again, you know, it's awful rough to play those original Ultima games. They are not much to look at, and boy, they're all funky. You basically have to memorize every single keyboard shortcut out there. It's like the old, you know, WordPerfect word processor. I'm like, oh, this is not intuitive at all. It's intuitive once you memorize everything, but that's kind of the opposite of intuitive.
ここは通らせてもらうわ行きますはこれがみんなの力ですね
It's a shame too, because there's 3, maybe 4 generations of gamers that were never familiar with Ultima,
相手じゃないね
and how awesome that was at the time.
俺の番だな
やれやれいい夢は見られたかい
Very, very simple nowadays, of course. I mean, I imagine my
よ
my
し
love for it is through rose-colored glasses, but
これが俺たちの力だ
I'd still want to go back and remember some of those, relive some of those memories, whether they be good or bad. Probably bad, I would guess. I would imagine it doesn't hold up, stand the test of time.
よし一気に行くぞ
I think the other thing I was considering was playing the GameCube version, or the GameCube version of Tales of Symphonia, since I still have that. And the re-releases have been, or the HD remixes have basically been worse than the originals, which is super weird.
行くぞ
Super weird to think about
僕
how that
や
that
れやれ
15-year-old GameCube can outpace these
これで一安心
these brand new systems. Although a lot of that has to do with kind of lazy porting from Namco's end. And I guess the original source code is lost, but that never prevented
よーしは
folks from
今のはみんな
being real creative in how they got their games up and running.
上出来かしら
The Blue Point games before they were bought by Sony, I mean, that was their specialty.
よし
I kind of wonder what those guys are up to at Blue Point.
いい夢を
Probably making the PS5 version of Shadow Colossus, since they've made a Shadow Colossus for PlayStation. Was it the HD version for PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4? And I'm just waiting for the PlayStation 5 one. It seems like a tradition for that developer.
敵接近迎撃を開始します
行くぞ
なんとかなったわね
I And while that certainly isn't my favorite game, I mean, like that world that they built, that really, really beautiful empty world is something to behold.
行くぞ。
よーしはさてや
Yeah, the gameplay is, not super hot.
まあまあだったね。
But as far as the spectacle goes, I mean, it's really incredible.
さあかかってきなさい
Strike heaven, hurl enemies upward. Showcase rogue spirit through pincer attacks.
行こうか。
ストライクヘブン。
任せて
エリエハメヤ
行きますそこ
行くよ。
Nice. This guy's got some hit points on him.
援護する。おっしゃ。
私のや
任せてくれ。やっと。
さてや
やれやれ。
私や
行くよ。アディオス。いい夢を。 僕の相手が務まるか。
任せてくれ。やってや。その程度じゃ俺たちは止められない。やっは。やっと。
一気に落とすよ。
俺の番だ。はっふうみんな大丈夫か。 えいはっやっやっ
Of course, my grand plan for Retro Sunday is,
チャンスよ
usually those plans fall flat.
行くぞ。えいはっ
Something always comes up on a Sunday, whether I like it or not. But that is
体制に戻
that
り
is
ま
my
す
plan going forward. I certainly want to feature more PC Engine, since many people haven't been exposed to the PC Engine, and it really hasn't gotten a resurgence as far as like collections or anything are concerned. I mean, the used physical game market, of course, is crazy. Wait, wasn't I supposed to do something here? Right? I was, right? There's a large quantity of potentially valuable ancient texts in Stargazer's Tower, naturally as a librarian. Oh, was I supposed to
せいでや
talk to the librarian first? Well, that's inconvenient. It's weird you can't just return. You can't just fast travel somewhere. Like, they give you fast travel if you're in your vehicle, but they don't give you fast travel on points on the map. It's like they couldn't quite figure out how to get that to work. or something, I don't know. It's awful strange. It's awful strange not to include it. Let's go to the library then. I didn't realize we had to should talk to somebody at the library first. You know, walked all that way and nothing. How's it going, Uncle Miles? Hey there, Lloyd. I'm doing swell. Did you come today because of my request? Guilty as charged. Mind sharing the details with us? The outline mentioned something about collecting ancient texts from Stargazer's Tower, correct? Yeah, that's right. I'm guessing you're all familiar with Stargazer's Tower. It's the ruin right off the side of Ursula Road. The Guardian Force has prohibited civilians from entering for quite a while now. As of just recently, however, they are allowing some research to be done there with permission. That's exactly correct. The previous commander left the place completely uninvestigated. He wrote it off as a waste of the CGF's resources. But now, in the interest of gathering intel, civilians can investigate the premises, so long as they file a report afterwards. That's largely in part because the tower is no longer inhabited by monsters. Is that so? Yep, a journalistic friend of mine by the name of Nielsen went to investigate it the other day, in fact. He said he found some real items of interest in there. He trekked all the way out there to gather material. That's some impressive dedication. You don't know the half of it. He's a blind man, too. But don't worry, he's a reporter from the Crossbell Times. He had a reporter from the Crossbell Times escorting him. I assume these items of interest were the ancient text referenced in your request, then. Come to think of it, I remember seeing something like that back when we were chasing after Yin. There were these tall-ass shelves halfway up the tower on the top floor. They were packed full to bursting with dusty old books. Probably the same ones you're looking for. Oh, so you guys already know where they are. This should be easy, then. Obviously, the library can't just abandon valuable documents like that to rot in a tower. So, can I count on the SSS to retrieve them for us? Archival preservation is indeed one of the library's most essential functions. There's just one little problem, though. Yeah, how are we supposed to carry all the books back to the city? Just thinking about how many trips that would take makes my head spin. That's a good point. Sorry, I didn't mean to make it sound like I wanted to bring back every single one. All I'm asking is that you investigate and give me an estimate of how much manpower and time it would take to have them all delivered. And don't worry, I've already cleared the request with CGF and City Hall. The Guardian Force said they'd take the barricade down if you accepted. In that case, I see no problem with lending a hand. Basically, we're going to be your scouting team, and the real labor will come later. That wouldn't be too difficult. Most of us already have prior experience climbing Stargazer's Tower. How about it then? Will you accept? We'd love to help, Uncle Miles. Thanks, Lloyd. You're doing me a big favor here. Sit tight for a bit. I'm going to put in a call to the Guardian Force and ask them to remove the barricade. Oh, you can just let me handle this. It'll be faster if I contact Commander Bales directly. Hey, good thinking, Noel. I'll say. Go right on ahead. Commander Bales of the Guardian Force speaking. Hello, Commander. This is Sergeant Major Noel, Seeker calling. Ah, Seeker. What do I owe the pleasure? Actually, the SSS has a request. Noel explained to Sonia that they needed to investigate Stargazer's Tower for a support request. Ah, yes, for the library, correct? They did notify us about conducting a formal investigation. I would say you're more than qualified for the job. I'll have a patrol unit in the area remove the barricade for you at once. Thank you, ma'am. Well, I should get back to work. Good luck and stay vigilant. Okay, we're good to go. Thanks, Noel. Gee, that was even easier than I expected. The SSS sure does have some incredible connections. I suppose we do. Now then, shall we head to Stargazer's Tower? Yeah, let's. Look forward to good news, Uncle Miles. I will. You take care out there. Okay, is there anybody else we have to talk to before we do our quest? Because that was super stupid. Ursula, we're going to go to... And then Tangram Gate. Okay. Alright, let's get out of here. My goodness. Unfortunately, I can't just drive there. At least I don't think so. Well, let's see. Maybe. We can go to Ursula Road, I guess. Alright. Get out of here. Already fought you guys. That was a long way to go to find out that I had to go talk to somebody in town. Why can't I just use my radio to call that in? Here we are, Stargazer's Tower. It's been a long time since our last visit. Huh, this thing looks a lot more imposing when you're standing right in front of it. And we're going to be searching the place. Sounds like a good time to me. The CGF took down the barricade for us, so we should be able to start our investigation immediately. Well, we can't be too cautious. Try to keep your guard up scaling this sucker, eh? Right, thanks for the reminder. Alright, once we're ready, let's head inside and get this request underway. So there are no monsters in there? Why does that sound unlikely?
Hey! Ha!
Stargazer. The silence is almost deafening. The CGF scouting reports haven't found any traces of fiends around here since the cult incident. That's why they decided to allow civilians to survey the tower again. Do you suppose the bell at the top of the tower summoned them, the way the one at the Moon Temple did? The bell, Now that you mention it, I did catch wind of something like that before. Either way, I'm not going to complain about having no baddies to fight on our way up. Let's get a move on, gang. Yeah, but remember to try not to let our guards down. Let's keep an eye out as we climb the tower. Okay, with no monsters, I don't think we need to do this without a little bit of speed here. Huh? Because this was a big area when we played it originally. Not that I remember anything about getting around here, but... Wait a minute. This can't be right. Oh, well, the books are gone. What? What, the bookshelves? They're completely empty. That's what we're saying. It wasn't like this the last time we came here. The request report seemed to imply that they were still filed just recently. Are you saying that someone snuck in here and smuggled the books out? There's no way the CGF would have noticed something like that. I'm more keen on the why than the how. Why would anyone even want? What would anyone even want with those musty old tomes? I don't know, but we're not going to find out standing around here. There were some shelves on the top floor too. Let's go have a look. You're right, we should confirm whether or not those books are missing as well. Playing this game does make me want to play the original East Book 1 and 2. I think that's also why I wanted to get my Mr. working again. And while, Falcom has remade those games, and they are nice to play, don't get me wrong, there is something about that original soundtrack and the overall feeling in the PC Engine versions of those games that they really haven't really quite got that same feeling. Plus, again, it's something else to play for the Retro Sundays. I figured as much. But who could have taken them? You don't suppose it was someone connected to the cult, do you? That's one possibility, to be sure. We know the alchemists who built this tower had their ties to them. Whoever took the books might have been trying to hide an ugly truth. But there shouldn't be any traces of the cult remaining anymore. Joachim Günther was supposed to have been the last of them. Man, none of this makes a lick of sense. True, but take a closer look. There are still some books that are left behind. It's not exactly what the request called for, but I don't see why we shouldn't at least turn in those. Good call. I wish we could have turned up even a hint of what happened here. But for now, let's take what we can get and report back to Uncle Miles. Lloyd and the group informed Miles of the books that had vanished off the shelves in Stargazer's tower. And that's about the size of it. You can't be serious. How could someone steal that many texts? Not to mention haul them away without anyone noticing. There's just no logic to it. I wish we could tell you, but we have no idea what happened to them. No, I understand. It's not like it was your fault. If only we could at least know what kind of books they were. It ain't all bad news. We managed to salvage a few that were left behind. They're not much, unfortunately. However, you may still be able to learn something about the missing text by examining them. Really? To be fair, we couldn't make heads or tails of the contents ourselves, so I'm not sure how useful they'll actually be, but here you go. Lloyd handed over the books from the tower. These books? From what we could gather, they were written in the Middle Ages. They're so old and dingy, though, that it's tough to make out the words on the page. Were you able to figure something out? This is incredible. This one, too. They're grimoires from the Middle Ages. Grimoires? Yes, tomes outlining alchemies and magical tools from a bygone era. I'll have to decipher the text to know what they cover definitively, but I can tell that much from the illustrations. Wow, that's really incredible. I guess that makes these pretty valuable. But if that's the case, why leave them behind? Maybe the person who snatched the rest of the books thought they were unimportant. Either way, it's going to be hard to get any clues from these alone. You could be right. In the end, we're still left with a mystery. Come on now, that doesn't change the fact that you've made a few priceless additions to the library's collection. It's a job well done in my book. I knew I could count on you, SSS. It was our pleasure, sir. I'm going to preserve these in our archive downstairs, just to be safe. They can sit there until I can get Nielsen and a few others to take a good hard look at them. Thanks for all the help. I'll request your services again if I need them. Glad you're here, Uncle Miles. We're always happy to help. Okay. Yeah, see, there's a little bit of roughness in the frame rate now in this version, whereas there's very, very few times there was any roughness running in the original game, in the original trails. So, kind of a shame. Okay, so then we need to go to Tangram, which is east. We'll just walk there for the experience. Gotta raise them character level somehow. Not gonna raise themselves.
よし上出来だ
God, in my mind, it's hard to believe that something like the GameCube is classic gaming. To me, classic gaming is NES and Super NES, but generations are old enough to
よーしは
consider the GameCube classic gaming. I mean, it's even on, like, you know, AV inputs that don't really exist anymore.
やっとせいや
I think you know your system is considered classic once
任せてくれ
the way the images are transmitted to the TV no longer exists. The TV technology that we played on
よし
doesn't really exist.
よし上出来だ
I mean, I don't think new CRTs are being made anymore. I may be wrong. Maybe there's some retro shop out there that would still making those old tube TVs, but
せいや
I would imagine the market is little to non-existent,
修正功
if there even is such a,
任せて
there
く
would
れ
be such a thing.
さてはい今だ全カル上出来かな
I'm more than happy to say goodbye to those old blurry displays. Even though they had, you know, kind of nice motion to them.
よし一気に行くぞ
There's something about the way an interlay signal looks, but
その程度じゃ
it doesn't look as good as a progressive signal. Certainly doesn't look as good as
えいや
as a high def image or a 4K image. You know, I mean, it just doesn't really compare.
行きまは戦闘終了警戒態勢に戻ります
えいは
みんな油断は禁物ださてはい
僕の番か。
行きますは
And I have a really nice set.
なん
I
だ
have a really nice Panasonic 32 inch that I can hook up for retro gaming.
えいは
But even then, it's like,
やれやれ。
you know, I still rather just play it on my you know, much larger display through HDMI
僕
and
の
have an 83 inch
なんだ。その程度かい。
4K TV. You know, and that 32 inch, you know, as nice as it looks, it does not look as nice as this.
でやえいと
I love those guys at Digital Foundry, but boy, when I hear them
任せてくれでや
waxing nostalgic about TV displays,
任せてそこ
you know, interlay CRTs, I'm just like, you guys
こ
don't
の
know.
クロスベル
You guys don't know what you're talking about.
えいはえいと
Gotta check the eyes.
チャンス
I
だ
think everybody there is getting a little too old.
たたよし上出来
Although I have to admit,
お
like
疲れ様
everybody in Digital Foundry, like they got like the greatest voices. And like everybody does. Everybody in that presents there, that does
みんな
videos,
チャンスよ
has like very pleasant voices to listen to.
チャンスだよし
Usually there's like one bummer
これが俺たちの力だ
narrator in a group of you know, reviewers or you know, article writers or whatever. But yeah, I mean that's like everybody sounds good over there.
えいは
一気に落とすよ。
よしえいでや
任せてはい今だ全カル
I think it doesn't help that
やるじゃない。
gaming in the European territories is different than gaming was in North America. I mean, the Amiga was big over there, and boy, let me tell you, playing Amiga games is a very unimpressive experience. You really had to be there at the time.
修正功チャンス
俺の番だ
Playing a lot of retro Amiga games, especially if they were racing games
僕の番。
or platform games, the few platformers that were available.
先に行かせてもらうよ
It's just a headache to play. Pushing up to jump, generally, you know, controllers back then only had
せいと
one or two buttons that were standard.
よし一気に行くぞでやよしもう大丈夫だ
And even when
せいは
the Super Nintendo and the Genesis were doing things with more than 2 buttons. You know, the Amiga was still stuck in 2-button land. You know, combination of 2-button controllers or sometimes 1-button controllers and keyboard.
今のはみんな
Not a super great way to play a game.
上出来かしら。
やるじゃない。一気に落とすよ。
チャンスだ。よし。
私の番速攻。戦闘終了。警戒態勢に戻ります。
セット。よーし。一気に行くぞ。
行きますよ。戦闘終了。
God, what else went on today? God, I went on a quest to get S Plus rankings in Resident Evil 4 2023, and I think I just did the assisted mode for an S Plus ranking. Let me tell you, the reward for that is absolutely crap. Like I can't believe somebody thought all the hard work of playing a game in like under 5 hours, 5.5 hours. It might be 4.5 hours actually for an S Plus. You know, all you get is this wolf tail accessory, which makes your melee attack stronger. It's like your melee attacks. You know, the thing that you don't do a lot of. That is the thing that you want to reward me with? Give me a break, guys. Playing on the hardest difficulty gets you cat ears. And I don't know what those do, but I definitely want cat ears. Even if they do absolutely nothing.
奇襲成功。チャンスです。
よし。
よー。
Why cat ears aren't an option for at least Ashley is beyond me.
なんとかなったわね。
I mean, I appreciate the blue hair thing. That was nice.
セット。
But no cat ears option? Come on now.
僕の相手
Oh
じゃ
yeah, let me down, Japan.
行きます。は
よし。
In fact, I think the cat ears are only for Leon.
やれやれ。時間の無駄だったな。
At the very least, give me like some wolf ears for Ashley. You know, since that kind of more thematic for that game.
えいと。
一気に落とすよ。
チャンス。よし。よし。上出来だ。
Oh, I thought for sure there'd be monsters in there. It just seemed like it was set up for a monster attack.
セット。セットや。
Yeah, I didn't stream that one. I didn't think anybody would be interested. Just me
俺の番だな。迎撃
playing through
完了。
assisted mode.
みんな先に進もうと。
But if people want to see that, that's I can stream the standard mode, which I think is next, or maybe I'll just do hard mode next.
セットや。えい。
I think I'm ready to try professional mode.
バックを取られた。気をつけろ。
The game feels way too cheap on professional
よし。
versus like the GameCube one, where I really feel that playing professional in the GameCube one is I think doable for a lot of gamers.
僕の番。
Oh, wait a minute, what the hell's going on? What?
やってや。
あたっ速攻。
任せろ。
さてと。
Oh, that's all I can do. Okay, I gotcha. Is it seal or petrify? I think it's petrify.
僕の番か。
No, it must be seal. I don't know.
俺の番だな。やってや。
はいはこれがみんなの力ですね。
えいは。えいは。
奇襲成功。チャンスです。
俺の番だと。
行きます。
Because I think the reward for Resident Evil 2023 hard difficulty S plus is, I think that's the chicken head, which allows you to take less damage, which would be worth it in your professional run.
一気に落とすよ。
行くぞ。迎撃完了。
Was that a professional difficulty? I just, that's the least fun mode to me. I feel the balance is way off.
行きましょう皆さん
The way enemies just,
こ
you
の
know,
クロスベル
magically magnetize to you for all of their, you know, grab attacks and melee attacks. It's just like, oh man, this is stupid.
よーし一気に行くぞ。
I will say all those were missing from the GameCube one, and I don't know if those were necessarily good additions to Resident Evil, especially with the speed and range which they grab you. I'm just like, I don't know, yeah, it doesn't feel right. In my opinion, personally, and the fact that you can't reliably shoot them in the knees anymore to go in for quick melees. It's like it's very inconsistent behavior to shoot limbs in that game. Whereas the GameCube one, it was like you always knew if you made a hit in the right joint, in the joint of the legs or the arms, that you'd register a hit and stutter them or stagger them. And yeah, RNG in the new one is, I definitely don't agree with that. Here we are, Tangram Gate. If I'm not mistaken, this is where you were stationed before joining the SSS, right, Noel? Yeah, it was. The gate is here to guard our border with the Republic. And as we've established, the new commanding officer here is Deputy Commander Douglas. Oh, good old Duggo, huh? It's been a while since I saw him, or last saw him. We shouldn't keep him waiting, then. Don't forget that we have an urgent support request to attend to. Let's make our way to his office on the second floor. Right, we will stop it there. This is audap. You've been watching The Legend of Heroes, Trails to Azure running on Nintendo Switch. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.